YouTube? Welcome back to another video here at Truggin' Life. Guys, let me go ahead and start off this video by saying to the people that lost their lives, for their families, my hearts and prayers go out to them. This is something that's horrible that I don't wish on anybody's family, to be able to just from 1 minute to the next, you're driving down the interstate and then boom, you lose your life. You know what I mean? So this clip that you guys just saw has been all over social media or whatever. So I just wanted to interject my opinion. Everything that I say in this video is just my opinion. Okay. So, um, as the title of the video, like, do I really blame for something like this happening? I mean, besides the obvious, the driver that's operating the commercial truck is obviously at fault, right? But there has to be a certain amount of events that happen prior to being able to just get into a truck and go. It's not like if the guy was, driving without a driver's license, right? So I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit here or just go briefly back and forth. So, according to the information that's been publicly available, the guy's name is Harjinder Singh, 28 years old or whatever, and was an illegal migrant. They came through the border in California in 2018, right? So like that's step number one. Like here, he was already here in the country illegally, right? And then number two, you got to go through a DMV process or some sort of school or whatever to be able to get your CDL, right? That was step number two, on that he was able to obtain a CDL. And then number three comes to the company, right? The company that hired him to be able to run freight across, the United States of America, right? And then number four would obviously be him driving the truck and then getting into the accident, right? So that's something that makes me think right there. And it kind of aggravates me, because like the government is in every aspect of your life. They're in our wallets. You got to pay Uncle Sam. You got to follow rules and regulations that our government puts out there. Senate, Congress, all that stuff or whatever, right? Like if it really comes down to it, my personal opinion, I blame our elected officials more than anything, because number one, he came here illegally and stayed here illegally. Then the other facts that I mentioned before, right, was able to get a CDL and everything. Like if our government would actually do their damn job, then maybe this wouldn't have even happened, right? Because as soon as he came in, if we had an immigration system that actually works, he would have gotten deported right then and then. He wouldn't have even gotten an option to be able to get a CDL. But he went through the system and then got a CDL and then goes out and does something dumb, and now three people lost their life over that, right? Like the number one people that I blame is our elected officials in our government that didn't do their damn job. That's really the honest truth. And this gets me thinking, right? Like this has gotten some sort of news, like it's been in some mainstream media, like it's been all over social media on other YouTubers like myself that, are putting out that information or whatever, right? But this makes me think, and I don't wish this on anybody, guys, right? So I don't want you guys to get the wrong idea here, but it just makes me think a little bit, right? I wonder if the occupants of that minivan would have been somebody's family that's high up there. If it would have been, a senator's daughter, or son or wife, or a vice president, son, daughter, wife, whatever, like something that's related. I can almost guarantee you that this would be on every single mainstream media out there, and they would be putting it out there because something major happened to one of those people's family. And again, I don't wish that on anybody, right? But that just goes to show you the amount of BS that goes on in this world, right? Like any person that's living, like their life is valuable. You know what I mean? Like even this guy, like he made a mistake or whatever, or maybe it was intentional, like I don't know, whatever the case may be, right? But um like some things get more coverage than others, right? But I can almost guarantee you that if it was somebody's family that's very important up there in the government, this would be getting so much media attention like crazy. Like what's different about these three individuals that lost their lives? Like they should get the same justice and the same coverage as everybody else, to try to prevent something like this from happening, right? Um It also makes me think about like the English language proficiency, where the mark sign was there, right? No U-turns, right, with the big circle, red circle crossed out, right, with lettering on the bottom. Did the driver read and understand the sign saying, "Hey, you can't make a U-turn here"? But even then, man, like even if there was no sign there, and if you can't read it, like, it's common sense. You can't do a U-turn on a turnpike, on a freeway where, cars are going 70 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour, 80 miles an hour, whatever the speed limit is over there. I think it's 70, right? Like, it takes a minute for you to do a U-turn like that, as you guys can saw. And that the crazy part about it is, if you guys kind of go and look at some of the other videos online, or in the intro that I did on this video, like, you can see where he's like looking, and in the camera view, in the inward facing camera, as he's turning, you can see, like, before he initiates the turn, that you can see that those cars are already coming, and he's just like nothing, and then just turns it, and then that happens or whatever, right? Like, was he not paying attention? Like, I just can't understand someone cannot have common sense to know, like, you can't do a U-turn right there. Like, the traffic's going way too fast, man, for you to be able to make a U-turn like that, right? There was a couple of videos online that I've seen that what you might call it, that his facial expression, like, when it happened, like, shows no remorse or nothing. He was just like, you know somebody that, like, messes up or whatever. Like, I know that if that was me, you know what I'm saying, like, if I'm making a mistake like that, and, like, I'm making the turn, and I'm like, oh shit, or whatever, I would have been like, oh crap, or something, you know what I mean? Like, show some sort of emotion, to where, like, something bad is gonna happen, to where it's like, holy crap, you know what I mean? Which it wouldn't have changed the outcome or whatever, right? Like, the accident would have still happened or whatever, right? But that just makes me think, that, like, there needs to be a better system. I mean, there has been some changes with this new administration, with the English language proficiency. They're starting to put drivers out of service or whatever. But the main thing is that they need to stop with these non-domiciled CDLs. Like, don't give them out no more, unless you're a U.S. citizen or resident of the United States of America. Because then this stuff type happens. And, like, do you really think? I mean, think about it. He came here illegally. He obtained a CDL probably illegally. Do you really think that this driver was well trained to be out here on the roads? I don't think so. Because, just from the simple fact of, like, what I just said earlier, the common sense factor right there. Any person, whether you can read the sign or not, would have known, like, I can't make a U-turn here, right? So, according to some more information here, um, so they're gonna go ahead and they arrested the guy, and he has the pending charges, vehicular homicide charges, as well as immigration violations, is pretty much what they're charging him with, right? And when he came in 2018, they were going to go ahead and deport him, but then he claimed that he didn't want to go back to his country for fear of his life over there, or something like that, right? um Yeah, fear of returning to his home country, fear that was affirmed by U.S. Citizen Immigration Services, and he was released on a 5,000 immigration bond. Like, things like this, guys, just have consequences on our roadways or whatever, right? And you got to think, like, we're just talking about the trucking industry here. There's so many people coming in, or were coming in, or are coming in, you know what I mean, that are coming in here illegally and doing other sorts of jobs out there as well, right? They might be doing, like, the oil field or whatever. Like, there's plenty of dangerous jobs out there that can harm people, right? Besides just truck driving or whatever. But, you know after just kind of looking at all the information that's been put out on this type of video or whatever, or this situation that happened or whatever, that's just really got me thinking or whatever, on it being more of the government's fault, because, like, the process starts there. Like, if he would have came in and it's like, no, or let's just say he went through the immigration, and then, no, you're not going to get a CDL. Like, if they do their job and it's just like, no, you can't come in or whatever, like, none of this would have ever happened. It all starts there. I mean, yes, the company does have blame, who hired him, the actual driver himself, obviously has a fault because he was operating the vehicle when it happened. But there's a lot of events that lead up to that point where this happened to. There's a lot of people to blame that could have stopped this from happening. And you know, I've been truck driving for 19 years, guys, for those of you guys that don't know. And here lately, within the last couple of years, man, that's all you see in the truck stops. I mean, a lot of, you know, people that don't speak English, that they're speaking other languages or whatever. And like, not only that, as far as like being able to like speak or whatever, but even just the driving habits or whatever, like something that just makes common sense, like when they're like backing up or whatever to a parking spot, to where it's just like, driver, what the hell are you doing? Like, you could just tell the inexperience, right? um but that's pretty much what I wanted to say about this accident. We'll see what more information they put out or whatnot. But it's just, it's sad that three people had to lose their life over a group of people um causing that to happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just one person, it's a lot of events. I like watching this show called Mayday Air Crash Investigation. If you guys have ever never seen it, it's totally unrelated, right? Um but it's about aviation accidents, right? And it's like, everybody's really quick to just blame the pilot, right? But it's a sequence of events, like from the mechanics that work on the aircraft, from the licensing and permitting, and all the regulations that need to be followed for that airplane to get up in the air. And then it gets up in the air, and then the pilot is piloting, and like, it's a whole group of things that need to happen that leads up to that event. So I mean, yes, is it the driver's fault? 100%. But there was a lot of other things that happened beforehand that he was able to get to that point. But that's just my opinion, guys. Comment down below your opinions. um you know do you guys think that I'm right about the examples that I gave, or if I'm wrong, or any new examples that you guys can think of? But we'll see what unravels next. It's just pretty crap, because you're starting to see this a lot more and more. And when you think about it, truck driving is such a big industry, and there's so many roads on the driver. Like, that family could have been your family. That could have been your wife, your son, your daughter, your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad. Like, it can definitely 100% happen. You know what I mean? So that's where I come and think about it, to where it's like, you never know if that could have been your family. So something needs to be done to be able to make these roads a little bit safer. But anyhow, guys, that's what I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys want to look at other reaction videos, go down in my playlist. I made 2 videos from Bonehead Truckers. One of them's as far as e-logs on how they make the road safer, right? You want to check that one out. Trust me, you'll like it. And the other one is based on the English language proficiency on a driver that's in the wait station or whatever. I give my reactions towards 2 on, though. I'll go ahead and put them on here so you guys can check them out. But anyhow, guys, for those of you guys driving, you guys have a great rest of your day. For those of you guys at home, also have a great rest of your day. Peace out.
Like, share, and subscribe.